guys. So I'm working on creating a plan for you that would be most beneficial, that would allow us to integrate QuickBooks online, but also streamline a lot of your processes. So in doing a lot of research and a lot of different apps that I've seen, the services that are out there that are going to do exactly what we want them to do, which is create a project plan and then allow us to create budgets associated with those projects and allow multiple people to work on the project and have approval levels all the way up. It's going to be pretty costly. So the programs that I've found are anywhere from $30 to $50 per person per month. So I don't know that you want to spend all of that money, because you probably have about 10 or so people that have their hands in the pot that are going to be needing to be involved in creating these plans. So here's the process that I have thought about implementing for your business, and see if it works for you. So as I'm looking at your media plan example that was sent to me, I really like the fluidity of this, because you can change the way it looks, and you can add a lot of detail, add a lot of specific line items that work for you. What I would do internally is create a mechanism that you could add comments and show that internal dialogue that will allow you guys to build these out in a more efficient way. Visually, how I would then present this to a client would probably be to enhance with some Gantt charts to show the progression over the year and the total spend that they have in certain different areas. But internally creating this plan, I think this might be the easiest way to handle it with some other enhancements. So how I would then handle the approval process going up is this. I would do one of two things. So option number one would be to use a program like Adobe SendNow, and I use it for a lot of things myself. And the way it works is you would upload your plan and your proposal in a PDF document, and then I would go through and add signature lines on the document itself. And the way you do it in here is it's very linear. So the number one signature may be that everything goes through Matt. So let's say Matt has to approve everything first before it goes out to the client. So you're going to list Matt's name first, and then you're going to list the client's name second, and then you're going to list maybe the accounting department third. So what's going to happen is, first off, this is going to get uploaded. It's going to get emailed to Matt. Matt's going to have to electronically sign off on it. Once Matt's signed off on it, it'll then go to the client, and then they will electronically sign off that they've approved it. And then maybe we've also attached a contract that they can also electronically sign. Once that's signed off by them, it could then go to like the accounting department, where they now have a plan, which would be the budget. So option number two would be to use a program like Dubsado. So I've started to use Dubsado to track my proposals and my customers in a CRM format, and I think it's going to be something that your business could benefit from. So the idea would be, again, you create the budget or the plan in Excel, but then we would go into Dubsado, which would act as your CRM tool. In here, you would then upload that budget and a proposal, and it can actually put it into a very nice package for you and your client. And then you could use this system to send out the proposal. Here's a sample proposal that they use, and the client could check box the things that they want, the things that they don't want, electronically sign the proposal along with a contract, and then it would then be emailed back to you, and you would be able to use this to track your approvals on each different proposal and each different job. The thing I also like about it, and we talked about this before, is you're able to track the leads that you have, the proposals that are out there, and the likelihood of them closing. So you can create your own labels, and we could call it 10%, 20, 30% closed, or something more generic like just seeking information, or Very likely that this is going to happen, and then you could actually use that information to update our financial forecasts and our budgets to plan for the likelihood of some of these jobs closing. So Dubsado kind of use it twofold: one for tracking all of your clients, your leads, but also to be able to track your proposals and to do it in a very nice, visually pleasing way. So now you've got your information, and now we're going to go back into QuickBooks to see how we're going to be tracking those costs and expenses. Now, what I'm going to show you next is how I would then take that and roll it into QuickBooks. So we've got the approved plan from the client, and I've built out our chart of accounts at a high level to match the certain line items that are in here. So you've got things like TV production, photography, you've got radio, you've got co-op, and in your chart of accounts you would have a line item for each income line that you've got here. And then you would also have a corresponding cost of goods sold account that would help build out that budget, that profit and loss. So I'm going to walk you through a really quick example of how to do that in QuickBooks Online. So if I go over here and I'm going to say I'm going to create a budget. I'm going to say this is client number 1. It's going to be for 2018. We're going to subdivide it by customer, because we want to be able to run profit and loss by customer. We want to be able to run a budget to actual by customer in the future. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to select our customer. Let's call this Bill's Windsurf Shop. Next. So here's where we can actually build out the budget as it would have mirrored this template that you guys have used and previously sent to the client. So now it's approved. We're going to build this into QuickBooks. So as you can see, I've added certain line items like radio and television, just for example's sake. So let's go, photography is going to cost $5,000 right up front. Maybe it's going to cost another $1,000 thereafter. But TV production, maybe that's an ongoing $2,000 a month. We're going to carry that forward. Then we're going to layer in things like our radio media. Maybe that's $250 a month. Carry that forward. And then we're going to go down to our cost of goods sold line item. Now, ideally, you would have, like I said, your mirrored cost of goods sold. That it would mirror your income accounts. But for this example purposes, we just got straight cost of goods sold. Let's just say it costs us $5,000 a month to manage this. Save. Get out of here. Okay. So now, as we are adding transactions, as we're sending out invoices to the client and incurring expenses, we're going to be coding those revenues and expenses to the customer. And in doing so, then you can come back to here, go into a budget to actual report for this particular customer, and you'll be able to see where you're hitting your marks or not hitting your marks. Now, this is just a total for the year, but we can then also break it out into a monthly interval. Now, you just have to do a little customization if you've got to look at it on a monthly basis. So you're going to go to Customize, Rows and Filters. I'm going to move me over here. And you're going to do Accounts versus Months. See month over month, we can do an analysis of the actual versus budget and make some adjustments along the year as long as it fits the client's needs. So if we ever wanted to make adjustments to this budget, we can then just go back into the budgeting tool, find the budget we're working on, edit it, and tweak it the way we want it to look. We can again revise it, send it to the client for approval, and then keep monitoring those costs and income and expenses according to this particular budget.